Hello everyone and welcome to the first Cognigy.AI Tech Update of 2025. I'm new Senior Product Marketing Manager at Cognigy and I will be your host for today's session. We started the year with incredible energy from Nexus, our own hosted contact center AI summit of the year, where over 700 professionals and decision makers gathered. The sense of community there was just amazing, so I hope we can carry some of that energy and momentum in today's Tech Update as well. Before we start, I want to remind you of a few housekeeping items. You're currently in listen-only mode, but we still want to hear from you, so please feel free to share your questions and feedback through the Q&A panel. If we can't address your input today, don't worry, we'll follow up within a few days. A link to the webinar recording will also be sent to you afterward. All right, let's get started with an overview of our product updates in numbers. This quarter, we shipped in total 80 platform updates, including 18 new features and over 60 other improvements. These updates span across agentic AI, LLM orchestration, voice design, contact center integrations, among others. And today, I have the product management team with me to walk you through the top highlights. Starting with agent creation and web chat topics, Mei-Ling, our product owner, will dive into the latest features added to the job market and agent voice configuration. He will also showcase an exciting enhancement we've made to web chat to bring the experience fully into the agentic era. Over to you, Mei-Ling.
Thank you, Nu, for the introduction. I'm Mei-Ling, one of the product owners at Cognigy.AI, and I want to show you some recent improvements we did to the platform. So as you know, we have a job market for AI agents, and just recently we have added 2 new agents to the job market. One is in English and one is in German. Both are for the health insurance industry. One important thing to emphasize here is that while the German restaurant guide was actually built completely in English, but prompted to answer always in German, the German version of the health insurance agent is built completely in German as well. So it's very convenient if you want to be very precise in some specific terms, like elektronische Patientenakte, electronic patient records, basically. That is great to be very precise in these specific terms, basically. So we want to have a short look into the German version of the flow. For example, the Verify Customer tool here, also a common tool outside of the health insurance industry. Of course, you need to verify customers in a lot of use cases. So as you can imagine, these flows basically need some customization on your end to make it work for you, but they are always a good starting point for you to check on best practices, right? So just opening the Verify Customer tool here, I can see that we are using parameters here to make sure that the right parameters are in place before our tools can be executed, right? And also, the thing I want to show you quickly here is the usage of short-term memory for frequently asked questions. So if these questions are asked a lot, you can just insert them into the short-term memory instead of retrieving them from the knowledge store every time, which is a bit slower than the short-term memory here. So as I said, really cool starting point to check on best practices, because obviously these flows and these agents are built by our most experienced conversation designers. So always good to have a look at how we are solving the challenges in these flows. Enough from the German version here. I want to switch over to another tab to show you the voice configuration option we introduced into the product. So when I edit or create my AI agent, I of course want to give him some character specifics, like the name. I want to describe the agent. I want to set up the style, how he is speaking. And I of course also want to add a voice to make the character complete, basically. So we added this section of the voice configuration where I can choose the vendor for me, different vendors in here. I can choose the English, the language, basically English here, and I can choose the TTS voice, which is William for now for this agent. What we are going to improve here in the very near future is that we are going to add the TTS label field as well. If you want to distinguish between different configurations for the same vendor, you need to use the TTS label here. You set in voice gateway. And also we're going to introduce the disable TTS audio caching option. As you can imagine, the variety of outputs for LLM powered agents is a lot greater than with intent driven flows, because in intent driven flows, you basically specify all the outputs that the agent is going to say. So it makes a lot of sense to cache these outputs. While with LLM powered agents, of course, these outputs can vary a lot. So you can decide on your own. You have all the flexibility here if you want to enable or disable your audio caching. So this is it for the voice configuration. Now let's have a look into the flow here. I'm just going to reset the session and go up to the flow. As you can see, I did some adjustments to the original flow, the hired agents. I just want to have the complete demo right now out of one flow, basically. So speaking about the voice configuration here, we can see a new field for the AI agent node where you can set the voice settings for the agent. We have two options: inherit from AI agent, which is using the settings you set in the creation or in the edit wizard for this AI agent resource, Martin Miller EN, or like I did for Emma here, which doesn't have a specific voice in the resource itself. I just use the job voice option here to specify the voice for this specific job here, right? For this specific part of the AI agent journey here. So I have exactly the same options, but I can limit it to this specific part of the flow. So of course you need a set session config here, because obviously there are a lot more options to configure if you want to do a voice call here. But we included the main voice for the agents into the resource. That's basically the new feature, right? So enough talking for now. Let's call this agent.
Hello, I am Martin Miller EN, a customer support specialist at Fit Direct Health Insurance. How may I assist you today?
Yeah, I want to file a claim, please.
I can assist you with that. To proceed with filing a claim, could you please provide me with your customer ID?
That's ABC123.
Thank you for providing your customer ID. I will now verify your account before we proceed with filing your claim. Could you please provide your date of birth for verification?
The 1st of January 1990.
Your account has been successfully verified. Now, how would you like to proceed with your claim? Please provide me with the details of the claim you would like to file.
Yeah, I would like to get reimbursed on a recent hospital stay. I think it's about $200.
Great. For this, I'll hand you over to our claim specialist.
Please wait a second while I file your claim. Your claim for reimbursement of $200 for your recent hospital stay has been successfully filed. You will receive a response from us shortly. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, thank you. That's it. So stopping the call here. Of course, you can have more sophisticated ways to create the handover. You can also introduce Emma, for example. And what I wanted to showcase here is basically the ability to set a voice for your agent and to set it directly in the resource or set it in the AI agent node without coping with too many set session config nodes, right? Because before this feature, you always had to set session config nodes here in front of the agent to make sure that the voice is then patched. And now we introduced all of that into the AI agent itself. which gives it a more natural look and feel here. You have to cope with less notes, and a very cool feature in addition to our product. So for the last feature that I want to show you, I actually want to switch tabs here. I want to arrange my windows so that you can see the web chat on the right. And I just want to start the conversation directly and show you the differences of the last enhancement we made. So the bot is approaching me here. I want to adjust my policy for my health insurance. Of course, I need to provide some verification for this process. And the next thing we are going to see is that a very long message is actually coming in here in one go. I can just hit space and another message is coming in, which is not formatted right now. Okay, great. So now that we have seen this, I want to go back into my settings here, web chat layout, advanced layout settings, and I want to activate disable bot output border, which is basically just erasing the border from the bubbles here, right? Because for this feature to work, we want to get rid of these borders. We also want to activate collate streamed outputs, which is going to summarize individual messages that are coming from the LLM into one output, which gives a nicer look and feel, obviously. I want to activate progressive stream rendering. So if the words are coming in word by word, I want to have it displayed also word by word, as if the LLM is typing in the background or the agent is typing in the background. And I want to render Markdown, as we see here in a second. This will look very nicely. So just going to refresh the web chat once I've done these settings. I want to start the conversation again, same use case. Same use case. And as you can see already, we have no borders here and the words are coming in word by word, visualizing the progressive message rendering here. So could you please provide me with your verification? I want to enter the verification again. ABC1. And as you can see, this is a very nice effect that is, you can see the LLM typing in the background, basically without typing indicators, of course. But this is progressive stream rendering. The message appears word by word, right? And if I hit space again, we enter the Markdown block, basically. And you can see that all of this Markdown is perfectly formatted. This is very important because LLMs are actually using a lot of Markdown to structure the responses, because as you can see, there's always a lot of text coming from LLMs. So you want to structure this to simplify the reading process for the user. And of course, they're using a lot of bold text basically and headings to just give the output a bit of structure. So really cool additions to our product here, to have the ability to visualize all of these effects coming from the LLM in the web chat itself. And with that said, I want to thank you all for your participation and hand over back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melling. You know that customer expectation always evolve, and with the rise of ChatGPT, Perplexity, and others, chat experience has shifted. So progressive rendering really brings this LLM-driven agentic experience to life on your customer service interface. Now, Melling already mentioned the new very intuitive voice configuration for AI agents, but I also want to add a few more updates regarding the voice topic. First, we have added native support for the new 11 Flash v2.5 model. If you check out 11 Labs documentation, you will see how they compare their different flagship models. The multilingual model is really designed for emotionally rich voices and consistent quality across different languages, while the Flash model is fully optimized for ultra-low latency and real-time responsiveness. Eventually, it all boils down to your enterprise requirements. Maybe it's not critical for your AI agents to sound 100% like a human, because you also want to set realistic expectations for customers when they engage with the AI. Instead, you might prefer an ultra-fast experience, and so if that's the case, then the Flash model is really the way to go. The second update I want to mention is the added support for DeepGram to voice preview. As a refresher, voice preview allows you to hear the audio experience of different synthetic voices, so you can choose the best voice for your AI agent. It is accessible from the Flow editor, and you can just select from the drop-down list of TTS language and voice here. So for this demo, let's see how the stellar voice from DeepGram would sound.
When are you planning to visit Hong Kong? This helps me suggest activities based on the season or events happening.
Great, I like it. The other beauty of this feature is that you can also preview the audio experience of any specific message in the interaction panel. This will save you a lot of time, especially if you want to review and fine-tune only specific parts of the conversation without having to run a full test call. For example, here, let's say I want to preview this message. All I have to do is hover over the AI icon here and click on the voice preview button. And let's say I want to test this time an Irish voice and see how that would sound.
What's your travel style, like adventure, cultural, luxury, etc.? And when are you planning to visit? I can give you tailored suggestions.
Very nice. The final voice-related update I want to mention is the ability to set a duration limit upon call transfer. The limit value is defined in seconds, and once the set time is reached, the call automatically disconnects. This feature gives you more control over call lengths because there could be scenarios where the end user remains on the line but is no longer available. So this limit helps you prevent excessive call times to better manage costs and, most importantly, allocate your agent's time to customers who really need assistance. All right, let's move on to the next topic, which is LLMs and Knowledge AI updates. And for that, I have with me Alexander Hart, Cognigy's Director of Product Management. Alex will showcase the new global LLM resource that you can share across different projects in your organization. He will then dive into our new Universal LLM connector and the ability to track your token consumption. And finally, you will get a look into the new ability to download and migrate knowledge sources. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you for the introduction, Nu. My name is Alex. I'm the Director of Product at Cognigy, and today we'll talk to you about some exciting changes in the area of LLM management and knowledge AI. Starting off with global resources. The global resources feature will enable you to manage all of your LLM settings centrally for all of your projects on organizational rather on project level. This means it's far easier to manage all of your LLMs centrally. In order to do so, navigate to the Admin Center under Resources and LLMs. Here you can see we have pre-configured a few LLMs that will be available globally. Going into one of these LLMs, you can see that you have the same settings that you will have for any project LLM. So you can have a generative AI connection, custom URL, and importantly, you can also assign projects. So these global LLMs will only be available to projects that you have assigned them to. So taking the example here, we will assign this to the project called Agentic Setup. If you now press apply and save, this LLM will be now available for the project. So if we navigate to this project now, we'll go into the traditional LLM settings you already know in Build LLMs. We will see that the project, that the LLM called Global LLM is now available to this project. On the LLM page yourself, you can see that you have project LLMs as you had before. These will have a subtitle project, and you will also have global LLMs that you manage centrally from the admin panel.
Our next topic is also regarding large language models. As you know, in the field of large language models, there's a constant innovation. Sometimes daily, new and better models get released. Naturally, we at Cognigy want our clients to be able to harness this innovation. Consequently, we have greatly expanded the availability and compatibility of large language models in our platform. This includes Google Gemini, Amazon Bedrock, Claude Sonnet 3.7, and the Amazon
Titan embedding model. In order to access these new models, go to your Build LLM tab, click New LLM, and on the Provider tab, you will be able to see that there's Anthropic, Google Gemini, and Bedrock. Taking AWS Bedrock as an example, you will have access to the different models such as Nova Lite and the Titan embedding model. If you want to set up one of these, you will just have to add the name as usual and click Save, and we will then have access to the standard configurations such as the generative AI connection, where you add your connection details, and the fallback settings. Now, given this constant change and innovation in the large language models field, Cognigy has gone a step further and now allows you to add any OpenAPI compatible large language model to our platform. In order to do so, click on New LLM, give the LLM a name, select the provider OpenAPI compatible, and select the model type, chat, completion, or embedding. Lastly, you will have to provide a model name of the model that is available behind the URL. If you now go into the settings, you will see the settings are very similar to what we already have in place. So here you can select an existing generative AI connection. You also need to provide the custom model name, and you need to provide a base URL where the model is available. In addition, you will have the same fallback protection mechanism as you do for traditional LLMs. This will enable you to use any LLM out there that is OpenAPI compatible, greatly increasing the access you have to new models out there. Our next feature is regarding knowledge sources. Knowledge sources are an essential tool to provide all the relevant information to your agents. This ensures your agents will give the most accurate and relevant answer to your customers. The new feature we're introducing is downloadable knowledge sources. This means inside your knowledge sources under Build Knowledge, you will be able to navigate to your knowledge sources and download them. This means going forward, you will be able to back up your knowledge sources anytime you like. This also means that you can download the knowledge sources and use any external content management tooling that you are normally using in your day-to-day workflows to manage your knowledge and then push those updates into the knowledge sources at Cognigy. The last feature I would like to talk to you about today is a session token counter. The session token counter allows you to understand how many tokens you've used in a conversation, and it can be used for flows using AI agents, LLM prompt nodes, search extract outputs, and AI Copilot. In order to set this up, you will have to go to your flow, and after the node you question, you have to add a code node. In this code node, you have to define const tokens as a variable and call the API with the get LLM token usage for session call. Having set this up, we can now give it a quick try with an easy unlock account flow. So you can see, I will just quickly go through the flow here of unlocking my account. So they want my email and account, which you can see now this flow has executed and has also executed the flow, the code node. If I now go to info and scroll all the way down, I can see here the usage. I can see the input tokens used, the output tokens used, as well as the total tokens used. In this case, 663. This will give me an overview of how many tokens I spent per conversation, and I can use this token information and my LLM account information I have on my side to understand how much money I've spent given my LLM's token pricing. In addition to having this information here, this information of course also is available via API programmatically.
Thank you, Alex. Amazing features that would make our operations way easier for our enterprise users. Next, Dennis, our product owner, will present a brand new Handover providers interface that will enable advanced routing logics and seamless handover to multiple contact centers. Over to you, Dennis.
Thank you, Nu, for the introduction, and hello everyone, this is Deniz, and today I'm going to present you the new implementation of the Handover providers and cover some possible use cases on what you can build with this new implementation to achieve better customer satisfaction and of course to achieve more efficient workflows. And before we jump into the demo, I'd like to take a moment to explain why we made this change and what was our goal behind this, because understanding the business problem will help us to see the value of this update before diving into technical details. So basically, we had a limitation that created challenges for many users, particularly those who needed more flexibility in distributing conversations across different contact centers. With the old implementation, by controlling the relevant handover providers from the endpoint settings, it was not possible to route the conversations from one endpoint to other contact center solutions. So let's think about an airline scenario for this case. So in an airline scenario, it's important to provide special services for your customers. And within the same flow, you may want to distribute your end users to different contact centers based on the class that they're flying. Or in an airline scenario, it's very possible that there can be delayed flights or canceled flights. And you may want to prioritize your customers who are affected by these delays or canceled so that you can just address their problems quickly by maybe routing them to a backup contact center. And you can do this routing quite easily with this new implementation among different contact center. And for this tech update, I will show you some demos. So let's quickly start with my first demo, which is for an airline scenario about the delayed and canceled flights. So in an airline scenario, it's quite possible that there are delays and canceled flights. And for such cases, maybe you want to hire agents from different contact centers as a backup solution so that you can address the problems of the affected customers while also addressing the problems of your normal customers who are not facing any issues, but just, regular flyers. And for such cases, I wanted to show you one flow. So in my flow, I just want to separate the customers that have delays in their flights so that I will start the question node where I will just ask if the customer is one of the delayed flights. And if they are in the delayed flights, we will just send them to the backup contact center. And if they're just like regular flyers with no problems, they will just be distributed to the normal contact center. So let's quickly check. And let's see how will it go. So for my first flight, let's just select one of the other flights where there's no delay. And as you can see, I'm already sent to the live agent because there's no delay in my flight. And let's check it for the other case and let's see if the routing will work for the delayed flights. For one of the delayed flights. And as you can see, I selected the delayed flights and this conversation is routed to the Genesis one, where an agent in the backup contact center can just respond to the delayed flights with this routing. Let's also check another use case for the stack update. As I mentioned you early on, you can also achieve routing your customers to different contact centers based on the passenger class that they're flying. For example, if you want to provide a premium service for your business class passengers, maybe you want to send them to a contact center with differently trained staff or with less waiting times to just provide them a premium experience and also prioritizing them if they have a problem. And you can send the rest of the customers who are not flying with the business class to another contact center to just arrange this traffic. And to demonstrate this in my flow, I will just ask my customers in which class that they're flying. And if they're flying with the business class, then they will be routed to a premium contact center, which will be Cognigy Live Agent for this use case. And if they're flying with the economy class, they will be routed to the normal contact center, which will be Genesis for this case. So let's start to see our demo. And as I told you, I will just ask my customers what class that they're flying with. And as you can see, I already have my conversation here in the live agent for my business class customers. And let's also quickly check if this routing works for the other case. Let's check it for the economy class. And for this, Human agent will be there soon. And as you can see, I just had this routing to my economy class passengers. I just had the opportunity to just route them to Genesis so that I would just arrange the traffic. And I can also enable just routing my customers to different contact center solutions. And for today, I wanted to show you a few easy to implement use cases. Of course, you can just elevate them and just elevate these use cases for your needs by combining with other functionalities that are provided by Cognigy.AI. And I hope that I could just inspire you a bit with my demos today. And please check our documentation for the migration process from your current settings to the new Handover provider settings. And of course, you can also check our documentation if you want to create new Handover providers from scratch. And thank you so much for your time. And leaving the stage to Nu again.
Thank you, Dennis, for the update. I love the demo. It's common that enterprises rely on multiple contact centers, so this feature definitely provides much more flexibility and viability for AI to human handover setups. Now, last but not least, I have Anastasia with me to show us the latest updates on Cognigy Insights.
Thank you, Nu. Hello, my name is Anastasia Kolos, and I'm a product owner of Cognigy.AI Insights. Today, I would like to present a small but important feature that we have implemented in Transit Explorer in Insights. To start with, we have slightly changed the sequence of the columns and put the endpoint in front, in addition to adding the logo that will help you to faster visually identify your endpoint type. Secondly, we have implemented a feature to delete the session transcript as per the session, which enables you to selectively delete the session transcript upon internal requirements. We acknowledge in Cognigy.AI that users have full ownership of the personal data, which includes conversational transcript. Therefore, if your end users would like to execute the right to be forgotten in accordance with the GDPR compliance, from now on you may select the desired transcript. You may afterwards go to the additional details, and in addition to create playbook and create playbook with assertions, you may from now on delete the session transcript. Once you decide to select deletion of the session transcript, you will be asked to reconfirm your action. The session transcript will no longer be searchable in the Transit Explorer. However, the metadata analytics associated with it will be considered in the other reports. The same logic will apply to OData. You will no longer be able to pull the conversations via OData, while you will still have access to the metadata analytics. Once I click confirm, the session transcript is deleted, as well as the information on the Transit Explorer. You may still be able to see the contact profile in the contact profiles. To summarize, this feature enables you to stay in control over the sensitive data and conversations on individual sessions level. With that, I would like to hand over back to Nu.
Thank you, Anastasia. So that concludes today's tech update. If you want to stay up to date on our latest releases and resources, check out our product updates page. You can also subscribe to these updates and receive an instant email notification whenever a new article is out. Again, a quick note, if we haven't got the chance to answer your questions during the webinar, we will reach out to you individually soon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next time.